we have a baby that's a week old that is blind in both eyes, that's not on display. So there are more turtles here. But you're visiting a sea turtle hospital. We treat and release almost all of these animals. Last year, 302 turtles were treated in our facility, and we also go get the dead ones. So sea turtles are endangered species, so we take care of the sick ones and release them when they're healthy, or the dead ones are sent for research. Last year, that was well over 400 turtles. Now, occasionally you end up with a turtle that's non-releasable. Generally, that's a turtle that only has 2 flippers. You just saw a turtle with 1 flipper that wears kind of a prosthetic device. But a 2-flipper turtle, we know from years of releasing them that they're not going to make it out there in the wild. So we send them to your zoos and aquariums. So we have turtles swimming around in Phoenix and Columbus and Dallas and Oklahoma City. And so turtles are educational ambassadors back in your home. So you're going to be feeding one here in a few minutes that's been raised in captivity for research, for example. So the second focus is public awareness. Now also additionally, Mom and Dad, we want you to know that we are a very global economy now. We all buy things on the internet. We shop in foreign countries when we travel. Maybe we're shopping in the antique store back home. Sea turtle products are being sold around the world, and even in the antique store back home, that would be illegal. So what you might be buying would be, say, tortoise shell, a hair comb, or a barrette from Grandma's era. Maybe it was made 100 years ago, but it was made from what is now a protected species of sea turtle. So we want you to be aware of that. Now our third focus here is nest conservation. So rehab and release, public awareness, and the third is we protect nests. Now, turtles nest here April, May, June, and July, so we're basically done with nesting season. Mama crawls out of the ocean to the dunes, digs a pear-shaped hole about 2 to 3 feet deep, and leaves them in that hole about 100 eggs. They're soft, they're round, they're pliable, and then she fills it in with sand and goes back to the ocean. Now, young parents, you have a long way to go. Us older parents will tell you that. I had a young couple here yesterday, and I said, how long will you nurture those 2 kids? Dad said, until they're 18. And I said, boy, are you naive. Good luck with that. You know, my parents are 91, and they're still worried about me. I'm a 60-year-old baby, right? So we nurture, but we only have a few.
60-year-old baby.
Now, Mama Sea Turtle lays thousands of eggs, but doesn't care for any of them. So it's a different strategy. Now, we patrol 50 miles of Texas. To protect the eggs, we move them to a corral. It is a fenced-off area. We relocate the eggs because there are so many natural predators that want to eat those eggs. Anything from a fire ant to a coyote. So that would include raccoons, skunks, snakes, crabs, you name it. All right, the babies hatch in about 50 days. Our last nest hatched out last week, so unfortunately our season is over. But the babies hatch together and they work off of each other's vibrations, and they push their way to the surface. They emerge at night when the sand is cooler, while they're trapped. So our interns, there's one right behind you there, Brianna, from the valley here, and Brianna had to work night shift, and that was to be able to get the babies out of the corral and get them ready to crawl off into the Gulf of Mexico. So that happens through the night. Now, the baby's sex, whether they're a girl or a boy, is determined by, not by chromosomes like it was with you, it's determined by temperature. Excuse me. Higher temperature during the incubation, you will be a female turtle. Cooler, and you will be a male turtle. So we're actually monitoring these temperatures to tell us what we're getting, and it's about twice as many females as males. More eggs. All right, now, the babies are tiny. This is the actual size. The baby that we have right now, born probably about a week old, will grow to be 400 pounds. But he's just a little bit bigger than this. Now, they're tiny, 25 to a pound. How do they find their way to the ocean? Well, for millions of years, they were guided. They're looking for glare. And so that would be the moon, of course. But now we have condos and hotels and streetlights, which are a much brighter light on their horizon. So we don't release them here through the night. We have to drive way up the beach where there is no development and they can't see the celestial light pulling them to the ocean. Now, if the babies were to emerge closer to sunrise, then we just wait for sunrise. That's very popular now on South Padre because we invite you to come and celebrate. So last week, one of our last hatchlings was a public release, and there were about 400 of you there watching the babies crawl off and swim out into the Gulf. Now, next year, this is early June to early August, so maybe a little earlier next year, but also we now have a live web feed on our webcam, so you guys can watch it from the comfort of home next summer, and all of our releases on the boats are Wi-Fi, webcam, etc. So we want to get you guys interested, especially the kids. Now, back to the biology. As these little guys crawl off and swim away, they're actually remembering where they are. Now, what happens is a sea turtle gets quite large, but the brain never quite as big as a grape. So they have very small brain capacity. They act on instinct, but in that brain is a magnetic mineral that senses the Earth's magnetic fields. So little guys born here will find hundreds of them within a few years in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, or Venezuela, South America. We even had one last year found in Italy. It made it all the way from here to the Mediterranean and stranded on the Italian coast.
Wow.
Now, here's the amazing thing. 12, 15, 20 years later, when these guys are finally old enough to reproduce, they come back to where they're born. So these guys travel thousands of miles for a decade and a half, maybe 2 decades, and then magically reappear on South Padre Island. Well, all of that navigation was encoded as they crawled down the beach and swam out into the Gulf first day of life. Well, a lot of work. All right, let's go back to our strategy, Mom. You're laying thousands, right? Out of 1,000 eggs, if we protect them on the land and get them into the ocean, how many do you think we're seeing come back as adults?
250?
3. Yeah, 3 in 1,000. He was close. He said 10. He's on the right track. So, Mom, that's why you got to lay thousands of eggs. And so, even with us protecting what we're seeing, return rate is 3 in 1,000. Well, the rest are part of the food chain. So you can see that now that we made them endangered species, conservation's not a quick fix. In fact, our founder, that little lady from Iowa, started 52 years ago. Now, the good news is, in this part of the world, the Western Hemisphere, our populations are starting to grow, and the curve seems to be going very quickly. That's a good thing. Now, almost done. A brief history, why they are endangered species. They became endangered very quickly. After World War II, the world got a taste for sea turtle meat, oil for cosmetics, eggs for aphrodisiacs, leather for hides, shell for jewelry. And before World War II, we didn't do this much because these are remote beaches. We didn't have roads to them. We didn't have refrigerated trucks on a large-scale basis. So most of the poaching started and slaughtering started after World War II. This photograph is from 62, so it's 53 years old. Notice the blue car here by my fingers. I'll come around again. Just notice the car. It's a Volkswagen. Can you see the car back there, ladies? Blue Volkswagen Beetle right there. Dad, can you see it? Yep, got it over here. Volkswagen. All right, now I'll stay up here. 4 fingers, 8 fingers, right? All the white spots are dead turtles. So on this beach was a slaughterhouse, and we were slaughtering thousands and thousands of turtles.
Wow.
For